Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast, where we talk about all things money, mindset, and marketing so your nutrition business can thrive and you can make a bigger impact in the marketplace. I am your host, Christine Diane, registered dietitian and money mindset expert. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friends. Before we get started with today's episode, I just wanted to do a little intro for you. This episode is one that I think you will actually love, because it's all about storytelling and why storytelling is going to be important for you and your practice. If you are really legit wanting to build a sustainable and a profitable practice where you are like legit calling in the most amazing clients, then you want to listen to this episode with Tamara Melton, also known as the Storytelling Dietitian. She's going to talk to you about why it's so important to tell your story. Now, I did a little prelude to why it's so important to telling your story on last week's episode. So today, I want you to hear it straight from the Storytelling Dietitian, Miss Tamara Melton. She's going to really give you some great tips on telling your story, the importance of telling your story, and how it can help you to really have a fulfilling and sustainable, profitable practice. Let's get started. All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. First of all, I just want to start by saying how, the more I say this out loud, make more money as a dietitian, I feel like it just gets embedded in me. It just becomes a part of who I am. So I'm also hoping that the more I say this out loud to you, it gets embedded in you too. Like not just, hey, let's make some money as a dietitian, or let's make sure we're making some money. No, we want to make more money as dietitians, right? This is the mission and the movement that I have been working on for almost 2 years now. And today I have someone with us, you guys, that is going to help you with being able to better communicate all of the things, especially when it comes to telling your unique story as a dietitian, because that is what is going to help you stand out from the rest. When your clients or potential clients, or maybe even referral partners, or maybe even if you're just doing a presentation to a group that could become some clients or patients or referral partners, when you're able to effectively communicate your story, it's everything. So you guys, let's welcome Tamara Melton to our podcast today. And she is going to tell you all about the importance of storytelling and how it can help you to make more money as a dietitian. Welcome, Tamara.
Hello, Christine. I'm excited to be here finally.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So tell everyone who you are. If they don't know, they should know, but tell everyone who you are and where you're from and what you're all about.
So I am Tamara Melton. If you know me, you don't have to know me, totally fine. But if you know me, you probably know me from the nonprofit that I co-founded called Diversified Dietetics, that I co-founded in 2018. And the goal of that nonprofit is to help to diversify our profession by recruiting, retaining, and supporting students and professionals of color. So that is my what was my side hustle, which continues to be kind of like a portion of my hustle. I think everything that I do is a hustle. Mm-hmm. I live currently in Atlanta. I've been here for 15 years now, which is crazy. I moved up here for graduate school, my internship, and I met my husband. So I have been here ever since. So I recently transitioned. I call it that. That's the way you tell a story, right? The words that you use. I transitioned out of a job. I was actually laid off recently.
Yes.
From my 9 to 5. where I was working for a large food service company. So as the time that we're recording this in November of 2020, it's been about a month since I've been laid off from my position. So that's where I'm at right now. But for me, it's really exciting. I have the privilege of being privileged to have a partner to help support me, and to have savings, so that this is the first time I think in ever I've been able to just kind of stop and be still and really think about what I want to do next. I have never really been able to do that in my career. So that's where I'm at right now. And that's where it's kind of taking me to what we're going to talk about today, which is a new venture that I am working on that I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. First and foremost, I do want to emphasize that people really should know you. Honestly, I know you're being humble, but they really should know you in this profession as the co-founder of Diversified Dietetics, especially in this day and age in the climate of the world that we live in. People need to understand that there is an organization out there that has been out there to help diversify our profession. I think that's really important. And then what's even more important, or equally as important, is this storytelling part of what you're doing. I get a sense that everything that has transpired for you in 2020, with the transition out of a job and being able to slow down and really reevaluate your career and how you want to move forward, was definitely a divine plan. It was not on accident. And this next leg of your journey is going to be equally as important and helpful to our profession. So I just want to really just highlight that and say bravo. I mean, I think this is really such a significant time for you and for all of us in this profession to be able to do something even more with our credentials. We don't always have to be stuck in a box. And it's interesting how life can kind of throw us a little bit of a curveball, but it's up to us to catch it. Right? If we catch the curveball and evaluate it and then throw it back in a way that is going to be useful and meaningful for everyone out there, that's the beauty of life. So, Tamara, I would love for you to just go ahead and tell everyone about the storytelling venture that you're on and how you sense that is going to be helpful to the profession. First of all, actually, how about just starting with how you even came up with the storytelling thing?
So that in of itself is a really cool story, I think. So I found out that I was going to be laid off about 6 weeks before I was laid off. So, of course, I was feeling some kind of way at first when I found out. I'm like, I was the only person of our team of dietitians who was laid off. There's about 15 of us who were on there, probably a little bit less. But I was the only one. And at first it felt that way. Then, like you said, I felt like, okay, this is a blessing. And this is going to be an opportunity for me to be able to do something else. So 6 weeks is a long time to have a notice. As you can imagine, your momentum at the current job really declines, but momentum of other things really, inclines and goes up. So I just really started looking around to see what I wanted to do next. And people have asked, aren't you doing the diversity thing? Absolutely. Of course, that's important to me, but I'm always somebody who believes in practice. I've always believed in always practicing in my profession. And so I'm like the queen of side hustles. So I had done some work in my area of practice. I'd written a curriculum for a doctorate of clinical nutrition program for my undergrad alma mater. And I had this money in my business account. I've had a business LLC since, hold on a second, Christine, sorry. Let me close my email. I thought I had closed it. If not, that's going to keep on going. Okay. So I had an LLC since I've been a dietitian, about 13 years. And so I just kind of got this money from this work that I did writing this curriculum for them. And I parked it away. It's just been sitting in there. So I was thinking about what do I want to do next, I absolutely love teaching. It just is something that's so within me. It's the reason why I thought about diversified dietetics, was really centered around the students and the work that I'd done with students in the past when I worked in academia. And so I thought I'd love to be in a space where I'm teaching maybe people in our profession or maybe consumers about nutrition. I'm not sure. I know I want to be teaching, but I don't want to do it in academia. I just want to teach on my own. Like I want to be able to do it myself. I just don't want to do it within the politics of academia and things like that. So I was kind of perusing Instagram as we do, kind of out there and just laying low to the point to where I had to like put a post up to let friends know I was okay. Because people were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm straight. I'm good. I am good." And there was this young lady named Danielle Leslie, who is, I thought, an Instagram influencer who kept on showing up in my feed.
Yeah.
Like she showed up in my feed in IG. She showed up in my feed and over on Facebook. And finally, one day I clicked on her ad. And she is a person who trains people how to create online courses. So if you've heard of Amy Porterfield, this is a Black West Indian version, basically.
Yes.
That's what she is. Okay.
Yes.
So, which to people is a testament. Know your niche and know who you're going after. Because I also looked at Amy Porterfield's offering, but when I saw Danielle Leslie, I was like, she looks like my cousin.
Yes.
I'm her target market, and she knew she's doing the same offering basically. So I attended her webinar. And it got me. I was like, this is something I want to do. I've never invested in myself to learn about business. I've always kind of bootstrapped it and figured it out on my own. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to create a course in, but let me go ahead, and it's almost the same amount as what I got from this consulting gig that I had. Right. So I'm going to invest in myself. My husband saw that charge and he was like, "What is this?" And I said, "Don't worry about it. This is for me, for my business.
Yes.
Taking care of something that I want to learn." And so I started to go through her course, and I had an idea for a course idea that I thought I wanted to do at the beginning, but she has this one portion of her course where you go through and you look at your strengths. Basically, it's kind of a strengths finder thing. You look at what do you like to do? What have you experienced in your life? And what do people say that you're really good at? And so I kind of went through it. And one of the things that had come up was people have always told me, "Tamara, you're a good presenter." I love public speaking. I love writing. I went to an arts high school where I majored in creative writing. So I learned writing of every style, creative writing, short fiction, playwriting, film writing, all those sorts of things. And I was published at a young age in writing and that sort of thing.
Nice.
And so I'm going through this and I stumbled upon it. And I'm like, well, I really love storytelling. I love it. I absolutely just geek out over it. I listen to podcasts about creating storytelling podcasts. Like that's how much I'm into it. And I love to use it for a lot of different reasons. I have used it to get myself promotions, to get hired, to start a nonprofit and get funding, to do all sorts of things. And I kind of thought about our profession and I thought we don't really, not that we're just not a group of, we've got some good public speakers within our group. We've got some decent public speakers, but we don't really talk about storytelling as a way to grow our business or to help achieve our career goals.
Yes, girl, talk about that. Because when you just said that you've used it to get hired, I know my ears perked up and I'm not even trying to look to get hired, but I think there's probably a good majority of listeners that may be interested. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that and how that worked out?
Yes. So we all have those situational interviews, right? Describe a time when you overcame a challenge with a coworker.
Oh, okay.
Tell them a story, y'all. Tell them a story.
Yes.
Tell them a story. You can craft and use the words, and it's just like a movie. You leave out some parts, you highlight some other parts, but you craft that story that says to that interview, wow, that she's got it. Like she knows exactly what she's doing. It might be not every detail in the story, but it puts you in the position where they can see you in the role that you want to be hired in.
Yeah. Yeah. And what just came to mind is that, and listen up, y'all, You don't have to craft 101 different stories for all your different interviews. They're going to usually ask you the same or very similar questions, especially if they're large organizations. I don't want to say any names, but the larger organizations that hire for clinical managers and things like that, well, I mean, they're pretty much going by a script. They're going to ask you the usual questions. And if you know your story answer for each of those questions, it's not like you're going to have the same interviewer over and over again. You're going to be able to perfect that story over and over and over again. You can also probably use that same story in a presentation to kind of engage people from the start and things like that. Am I on the right track? Tamara, help me.
Absolutely. Yes, you can absolutely take this same story. And the beautiful thing about stories is that you can change it. So you're not lying, but you are adjusting it so that your goal is that you want the person who you're listening to, the person you're trying to close the gap with.
Yeah.
You want to get in their head. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create this, close this gap where they just think, she just got in my head, or he just got in my head. And that's what you're trying to do. That's the power of really good storytelling.
So I'm wondering if you can take like a real situation and enhance it. It's almost like you just said, you're not lying, but you're enhancing. It's like what we do with our selfies, right? The picture is it's a real photo, but we enhance the features. So maybe that is a way to kind of think about it. So people won't feel like they're telling a story, but you're just putting a filter on it. Okay. You're just enhancing your story to make it more engaging, more visual, so to speak, providing some imagery or something like that.
Exactly. So you're trying to create a way where it's relatable to the listeners of the story. You're including specific details so they start to build the scene in their brain. They can see it coming.
Yes.
You put some sort of authentic emotion in there, and you want to make sure there's always a climax to a story. There's a significant moment. There's something where the hero saved the day or didn't save the day and learned something. Those are the basic elements of really good storytelling. Every single good story that the masses like, that they really are attracted to, have those same elements every single time. And that's something that you can use a lot. You can use it a lot.
Yeah. So what would you say? I know this probably sounds maybe similar to what you've already shared, but what are the like maybe 2 or 3 top benefits of using storytelling during these times? Whether you're trying to get hired or you're doing a presentation or whatever.
I would say that it's the fastest way to get your point across to people and to get them on your side. Basically,
I like that.
It's the quickest way to do it because their brain is doing the work for you. Basically, you're not having to really convince them so much. You're gaining their trust very quickly, and you're really centering them. Even if you're talking about yourself, even if the story is about yourself, you're really telling the story to them. A good storyteller is.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing it does. It just really sets you, gets you from that, closes that gap a lot faster. For people who are trying to attract clients.
Right. That was going to be my next question. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're trying to attract clients. You want to stay in their head. You might have seen, I've seen like memes where people are saying like, there's something that's funny. They see maybe a meme or something. And they said, oh, this is living rent free in my head. That's what you want to be.
Right.
To be living rent free in your client's head. So when the time comes when they need to hire a dietitian for whatever reason, be you B2B, you're working with other dietitians or health professionals, or B2C and you're working with consumers, you want your name to be the one that pops up because they say that person I trust that person because she gets me, because she says things in a way that I just feel like she knows what she's doing, and I'm going to give her my money for whatever it is that she says she's going to make happen for me. So that is huge.
And I can already sense some people probably saying, isn't that manipulative? Do you have anything to say about that?
I asked them, do you feel manipulated when Apple sells you or shows you, their product at the end of their commercial? Do you feel manipulated when you listen to a comedian telling you stories?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel manipulated when you read a good client story of maybe somebody that you want to hire? No, you feel like you've been informed. You feel like you've seen a way that they can help you to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely isn't manipulative. It really feels like, to me, the person, when they're telling the story, it's like they've really taken the time to really let me know, like the details of all of the things. Like they really have put their heart and their soul and their everything into it. And I'm like fully engaged and I'm in there and it's like I'm with them. I'm like, yes, let's do this. And that is the power of storytelling. And I remember telling you not too long ago, I feel like I am that person who is always in the room telling all the stories. And I have like all these different analogies and all these things. And for a very long time, I felt like the weird person in the room, honestly, because my brain actually functions that way. I can't even help it. I can just come up with an analogy and create a story off the top because that's just, I don't know. I don't have no way to explain it. That's just how it is. But I also know that it is very powerful. It is very engaging. It's very influential. If people are into like being an influencer, in a very authentic way, storytelling is it.
Yeah.
And if it's not a gift, it can definitely become a skill. So I love that you're doing this and you're going to be moving forward and sharing with our dietitian community, not just on this podcast, but just in general. This sounds like it's going to be your next thing, right? The next iteration of your career.
This is the next iteration of my career because what I see with our profession is one, there's a couple of things going on. We don't have a lot of training in marketing, which is a lot of people, and that's kind of inexcusable at this point. There's a lot of ways to get trained in marketing.
I would agree.
There's a lot of dietitians training other dietitians in marketing, right? There's a lot of, you should go outside of our profession to get training in marketing because that's where some of the best marketers are at. But then also we tend to get caught up in ourselves and our letters. Nobody cares, y'all. They don't care. That's why they go to the influencers who are selling the cleanses and the potions, because what they're selling is a lifestyle. What they're selling is a solution.
Come on, tell the people.
And what they're selling is that.
Oh my God. Y'all, did y'all hear that little nugget? Because that was a good one. I'm just going to pluck it out so you can just really get it. Hear what Tamara just said. What the influencers are selling is a lifestyle. So if you're just up here talking about you're the nutrition expert and you've had all these years of this and that and the other, oh my God, y'all, I'm really hoping that not too many of you are still doing that, but I still see that. I still see those posts on Instagram. It is so annoying because no one cares. If I'm annoyed and I'm a dietitian, I can't even imagine what the general public is like. Like they probably, to be very honest with you, they probably ignore it. They don't care because when you're posting something like that, it does not even resonate with the problem that needs to be solved. So they're just glazing over that anyway. They're not going to stop and say, oh, they're the expert, I should go to them. No, they want to know, can you help me with this thing I'm having a problem with? And if you can, I want to know how. And if you can tell me a few stories about how you've gotten to this point, how you've helped other people, how you're living this particular lifestyle after you have maybe even solved the problem for yourself, I'm in. I'm going to throw my money at you so quick you won't even have a chance to catch it. Seriously. And that's it, you guys. Stop talking about being a nutrition expert and show up and actually be the person that your potential clients want you to be, which is that influencer that is sharing a lifestyle and how you can help them. You just got me all riled up.
It's okay. Look, that's the way I feel about it too. And there might be some of you out there right now who are saying, I don't want to be an influencer. That's not what I'm trying to be. And that's okay. what you're trying to do is to get inside of your potential customer, client, boss's head. What you're trying to show is that you're the one who knows what they want, and that's what you need to always center. What is it that they want? And that's what you're crafting your story around. If you're posting things, you should always ask yourself, how is this solving their problem?
Amen.
How is this solving their problem? And that should center every piece of communication that goes out, be it written, video, audio, a pigeon. I don't care what it is. Whatever you send out to people, it should be centered on that. If that's your business, if that's what you're trying to do, and if you have a business and a brand that's set up, isn't that what you're trying to do, is to make money, and you're trying to connect with them? And it's not bad, because remember, we are the ones who are the experts. We are the ones who are evidence-based. I always tell people, if they don't go to us, they're going to go to somebody else. So don't feel badly if you're using the same tactics that other influencers are using, because if not, they're going to go to them instead of coming to us.
Most definitely. And I think that is the part. I mean, the people are just going to get what they need no matter what, for the most part. And they're not really caring too much about credentials and all of those other things. And if we can just get past that, I think we will be batting 100,000. Not just 1,000, but 100,000, because that's a whole lot of like reframing, retraining the mind, and all of that, and okay, so you don't want to be an influencer, but you do have a business or a private practice that you want to get out there to help as many people as possible, I'm assuming. And so therefore it's important for you to be able to communicate that in a way that's going to attract the right people to you.
Right. And I can't discount enough. I think people, when, I didn't give my whole resume and background, but I think sometimes people say to me, Tamara, well, you're just so successful and everything. There's some level of tenacity to it, but I know how to say things to people in a way that says, okay, she can probably make this happen, or she has a vision. She sees where we're trying to go. So I'm going to put my confidence in her and hire her to do this. She can actually articulate the problem and the solution, and she gets it. And it's a way of communicating that. So it's not just because people think I'm great, or just because I think I'm great. It's like you said, it's a skill that I've worked on and crafted and really practiced to be able to get to where I am. And even the way, and you talk about mindset a lot, one of the things that I said to myself when I did find out that I was laid off, the story I told myself was, the reason why I was the only person on the team laid off is that they know I'm going to land on my feet versus the other ones. So I was the one who was chosen to be let go. So even the stories you tell to yourself are really important, because that helps me to craft that as I go forward, and it's not self-defeating. But just know that it's not a coincidence that certain people are quote unquote successful. It's an art and a science, but there's things that they are doing. And what I'm saying about storytelling is that it's that really age old. I mean, it's what we tell to our children. We go to movies and watch it. We're all Netflix binging right now. We all believe in stories, and we believe in storytelling. We do it all the time. It's just time to figure out how to do it to help us reach our career goals.
Yes. Well, I know you have my ears perked up and ready to roll with this. What are your plans going forward to help our profession with crafting our stories in a way that'll help us up-level our careers, whether we're employed or in private practice?
So I mentioned that the way I found about this hidden gem within myself I didn't realize that I had there, is that I signed up for a course to learn how to build an online course. So my eventual goal is to create a course for dietitians to learn how to use storytelling to reach their career goals. You get that they're the entrepreneur, a side hustler, or working a 9-to-5. So that's my goal, is to have that to launch in early 2021. So in the meantime, I've set up shop on the internet, on Instagram, the Storytelling Dietitian, where I'm just sharing tips and tricks. And in my stories, you guys notice that Instagram uses stories as well. So in my stories, I'm sharing kind of behind the scenes to let people know, like, here's how I craft presentations to capture people. Here's how I use stories, and Instagram posts, Zoom meetings, 3-hour virtual workshops, things like that, so that people can learn that. So I started that Instagram account, and my eventual goal was to create a way to be able to teach other dietitians how they can use storytelling so that they can also grow their careers.
Oh, yes. So beautiful, first and foremost. And I literally just got a divine download about that and how we can collectively support the RD community in this way. Because at the time of the recording of this, I am tomorrow going to be opening up my membership community called Embody Academy. And one of the things that is slated for the Academy is to have guest experts. I was gonna say come in and teach, but that's actually not what I want. I actually am going to have guest experts provide a pre-recorded like masterclass. And I'm paying my guest experts because, I'm all about people getting paid. I mean, duh. So, I would love to invite you. I didn't even tell you this, so I'm putting you on the spot right now. But I would love to invite you to be one of the guest experts to provide something to Embody Academy in the form of like a presentation of some sort. And then you can also promote your upcoming course. I can't even talk. I'm tongue tied. I think that would be a beautiful way to support the community, to support one another, just all around collective. So we can talk about that later. But I think, shoot, this is going to really, really, really help. The course that you have coming up is going to be amazing. I already know it. And everybody needs to sign up for that course because most of us are not good at storytelling. I know for one thing, I'm always touting, for lack of a better term, about how important it is to be able to collectively or effectively, communicate the value of what you do. And I think that this storytelling component is a huge part of that. Most dietitians really, or at least the ones that I've spoken with, they don't really understand how to communicate their value, the value of their work, I should say. And so being able to storytell would really, really help and probably ease a lot of the tension around communicating that value too. They don't have to feel like it has to be a big deal. It can just be a story that's relatable,
Absolutely.
like you said.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to look at it. It's to say, it's the way of showing, and think about it too. A lot of people don't know what dietitians do versus, let's say, an Instagram influencer or something. Maybe if they had an experience with a dietitian, it was just maybe in a clinical setting. So maybe, and we all know it's kind of on the way out the door. So if they're wanting to work with you in any other capacity, they don't know what you do. So a story gives them a window into what you can do for them. So you are, showing your value to them. But like you said, you're wrapping it up into a story. It just feels so much better for you telling it to them, for them receiving it from you. It's just a really positive transaction that you have with your clients and customers.
Yes, so good. So good. So in the meantime, as we wrap this up, first of all, if you can just give the listeners one tip that they can walk away with, something somewhat tangible that they can do to help enhance their storytelling skill, what would that be?
Always ask yourself, what problem am I solving for my client, for my patient, for my student, for my boss?
Yes, yes. Before you post, before you write, before you open your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself, what problem?
What problem am I solving?
Mm,
And then craft your story around that.
yes, that's amazing. And in the meantime, before the course comes out, I'm going to be here supporting that course all day, every day. Where can the people find you? You did mention your Instagram handle. Is it straight across storytelling dietitian, or is it story dot telling?
Yeah,
Storytelling dot dietitian, excuse me.
it's the dot storytelling dot dietitian.
Okay, the dot storytelling dot dietitian. Y'all get yourselves on Instagram and start following Tamara, because she does have some really great tips on storytelling. I have been following her since she launched the new Instagram page, and it really is some great stuff. So check that out and just be on the lookout. She's going to show you all of the things you need to know about storytelling. And then when it's time for the course, you'll be ready for it. You'll be ahead of the game. And hopefully tomorrow off the grid, it's going to say yes to becoming.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes now, people. Everybody heard it. I'll say yes. I'm there.
I just put her on the spot and then told her to say yes. Publicly. But no, it would just be really, really great and really helpful all the way around. I mean, it's just going to be a super supportive way to get the storytelling dietitian brand out there. It should be a movement, just like make more money as a dietitian, if you ask me. And yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. So you guys, check Tamara out on Instagram at the.storytelling.dietitian, and be on the lookout for Embody Academy to have Tamara as a guest expert. And hopefully you did not miss enrolling in Embody Academy. I hope you didn't. If you did, why did you wait so long? I don't understand. Like, I'm really, really trying to understand. But have no fear. We'll be back, and open enrollment will come back again. And I want you to enroll, because this is what I call the alternative academy that's going to support you in mindset, CEO habits, and CEO and meaningful connections. You get all of that together. That is the framework that I have created. I call it the Abundance Accelerator. And you pull all of that together and you're going to win, along with being in a like-minded community. All right, y'all. I hope this episode was helpful for you today, because storytelling is what's going to set you apart from the rest. And once you get that down, I believe, to be honest with you, you get storytelling down, your marketing is going to be 100. Okay. It's going to be amazing. So let's all follow Tamara on Instagram and learn how we can get ourselves out there and be set apart from the rest and make more money as a dietitian. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a great weekend and a weekend ahead. I said that already, right? I don't know what's wrong with me. Have a great weekend, y'all. I'm tired. Okay. Have a good weekend. Love you all. Bye. Hey, if you want to learn more about how you can make more money as a dietitian, I want to invite you to check out my program, Charge What You're Worth. Now, to learn more about this program and how it can help you to become a top earner as a dietitian in business, just head on over to moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me. Again, that's moneymindsetdietitian.com/work with me, where you can learn more about the Charge What You're Worth program and how it can help you.